Welcome to Awake to Oneness Radio. I am Caroline Cheng, your host. The mission of Awake to Oneness Radio is to inspire the world to awaken to the universal truth of oneness. Science is now teaching us that everything is energy, and that energy is interconnected and interdependent. Basically, it's all one, meaning we are all one. Now, spirituality and ancient wisdom has been teaching the truth of oneness for eons. And now science is not just now catching up. The science that we're talking about is close to 100 years old. Quantum physics is, so science, this is not very new science, but it's not mainstream science, which hopefully this show and other shows like this show will help people understand that science is really teaching exactly what spirituality has been saying for a long time, that we are all one. What you do to another person, you're literally doing to another aspect of yourself. And when mankind awakens to the universal truth of oneness, there will be peace on earth. Today's show topic is living in the now with Rochelle Vallese.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. I feel like just a joy to be in your presence today. I mean, let's just talk about being in the moment for a second. Wow, this moment feels pretty incredible. Thank you so much. I feel like we've already had a relationship, and as you know, in truth, we have.
Yes,
so
yes.
It's nice to experience you again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I discovered Rochelle, which I was just telling her before we started recording. That's my daughter's middle name, and she's the first Rochelle I've met. So, but I was just telling her I discovered her on YouTube with her wonderful video, Living in the Present Moment. And the now, living in the present moment and living in the now is really, really one of my favorite topics to talk about. So I'm so thankful that you are here with us to talk about that. But before we even dive deep into living in the now, please share with our listeners your journey.
Sure. I think that probably my journey is similar to a lot of other people's journey. Whereas ever since I was a child, I knew that something just wasn't quite right in spiritual teaching. And of course, as a child, I grew up as a Catholic, and I went to Catholic school, and I always questioned the practice. And I know that there was a loving intention there, but the way about it and the pain and the suffering and just didn't resonate with me. And I just questioned it. And I had some metaphysical experiences happen in my life, like many people, experience. As you know, we all are psychic, I believe. It's just that, are we here to experience that in this moment, right? Yes. So in that moment, I was gifted with a grandmother who I was very close to. And we just were bonded. And what happened is through her illness and her passing, gifted me with coming back to me to show me that there is no death, and that we are all present in the moment as we speak. We are all alive. We are all living. So I took that message, and she continued a few more times in my life to share that with me in different ways, through forgiveness as well. And I'd love to share that story with you as well as we go along.
Yes.
But I used to, but through that journey, I questioned and, went through different books and tried to find the way to communicate how I was feeling. And I guess it was probably early 2000s. I would get up every morning and I would hike a mountain, and I would do a walking meditation to be in the moment. Every day I wanted to get up and walk and be in the moment of now. How am I feeling? What's occurring? And I wanted to be in that right-minded thinking. And I would go up on top of the mountain, and I would talk to my spirit guides, and I would say, okay, what should I do today? where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? I just wanted to live in the moment. And I was listening, and I heard, go to the bookstore. And I said, okay, well, I can do that. And so I went to the bookstore, and then I said, well, P.S., by the way, what am I looking for at the bookstore? And they said, you'll know when you get there. And I said, okay. So I went to the bookstore, and I just used that present moment of trusting that I will find it.
Yes.
I walked around, and all of a sudden I turned the corner, and on the shelf was The Disappearance of the Universe by Gary Renard.
Yes.
And I grabbed that book, and I said, this is why I'm here today. I just knew it. And once I took that book home and I read it, it explained and communicated everything that I thought to be true.
Okay.
And that's where the Course in Miracles came in for me. Okay. So I love the Course in Miracles, and I had been introduced to it prior to that. Okay. But we have discussions about, a course. But then when Gary's book came out, it was the, lead in to be able to talk about it, and communicate it in more of a lay language.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Well, actually, Gary has been a guest on my show.
Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding? Oh, that's fantastic. Of course. That's wonderful.
Yes, he has. And when you said the title, that's when I connected the two. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Disappearing Universe. Yes, Gary. Oh, goodness. I've been doing the show now for 4 years. And Gary, I think, was my guest either in the first or second year. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah. It was during there was a time where I had many A Course in Miracles teachers on the show. Yes. Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah. Awesome. Very, very good. So, okay. So that was in 2000. Now I wanted to ask you, you were saying your grandmother came to you after her passing. How old were you then?
I was probably 8 years old. Yes, about 8 years old. Yes.
Okay. I was just curious. And then in 2000 is when you were doing this walking meditation, and it led you to the bookstore, and it led you to Gary's book. Yes. Okay.
It was early 2000s, whenever his book came out, maybe 2000. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So now take us from there.
Okay. So I've had a lot of metaphysical experiences throughout my life. And so once I read through A Course, and once I read through the books of Gary and so on and so forth, I take the information, and then I just, use it in my gut in the present moment of where I'm coming from, of how I'm feeling. Yeah. And so it's amazing.
Your audio has been a little, just went out. Let's see. Okay. No, just be careful. I'm not sure where your computer mic is, but your hands might be near it. So, okay,
I'm just adjusting it. Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you're back.
All right, great. So from there, Caroline, I'm just try to live that path, in every moment of every day. I'm not one that, I haven't been, on camera talking about it a lot, or, it isn't my function, per se, to say, okay, I'm going to start a whole, video course or this and that. I'm just an example of the everyday person trying to, live the truth of the oneness in the moment at every second of that I can. So every day when I wake up, I say, I give, myself over to the Holy Spirit, that I want to see the Holy Spirit script, and
you're frozen. Not sure if you lost your internet. Yeah, it looked like the internet went out for a second.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, now it's saying my internet is. Oh goodness. Okay, it might have been my internet. Are you?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
You're good now. Okay.
I don't think there's anything on mine that has any problem.
Okay, so it might have been me. So can you just back up like a sentence or two, because you were frozen for a second.
Okay. So I'm just expressing that what I try to do in my everyday is when I get up, the first thing I do is I say, I surrender my day to the Holy Spirit. I want to be in the right mind. And I want each and every moment of my day to be in that thought system of love and truth, and not in the ego script of fear and, anger. So I try to live my life like that every day. And I practice, and it's like going to the gym, Caroline, in every moment. And sometimes it's hard to pick up that weight.
Believe me, I know about that.
It's
Yes.
still really heavy.
Yeah.
But the more and more you practice it, the more easy it becomes to step outside of what you think is giving you that angst. And in that moment, just really look at it and see the root cause of it.
Yes.
Instead of the ego script of, oh, it's this thing and it's that thing, you have to step back and just in that moment be strong and just be the observer.
Mm-hmm.
And then you become less reactionary to whatever is giving you the upset, because you're remembering that, everything happened all at once, right? So the ego script of seeming separation happened all at once, but at the same time, the Holy Spirit's healing script happened at the same time. So we always have that choice in every moment to choose which script we're going to project. And that's what the important part is in every moment, because we can talk about energetic value and what we put out there. Our function, our purpose is the atonement to remember that separation isn't our reality, and to try to utilize that in our each and every moment, being present. And with that, we'll change our energetic field. And because when we change our mind about it, that's how we really change the view of the world. And that's how we help each other, because it's all coming from the mind. All of this is from the one mind, right, Caroline?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So everything you said, I resonate with 1,000%. Even the fact I was sent to Catholic school, and I knew from very young, the dogma of Catholicism was not resonating with me. But I was brought up in a strict home where I couldn't say that. I just had to, So everything you just said, and I am trying to do exactly the same thing that you're doing every day and every moment. And I always say it's a moment to moment, and I have to remind myself in every now moment who I really am. And I know that the world is an illusion of my own creation. So I'm owning that creation and knowing that my higher self, the Holy Spirit, whatever terms we want to call it, I usually say my higher self, which my higher self is not separate from me. And my higher self is creating this experience, this life experience, this dream of my own creation for my highest good. My human self may not remember why, but nothing is being done to me. Everything is happening through me. So when situations happen that, are surprising and unexpected and not preferable, I have to remind myself that I am creating this. I have to own it. I am creating this. And like you said, in every now moment, you have to choose how you're going to respond. You can respond to it like it's separate and you didn't create it. Or you can respond with love, knowing that, okay, I created this, and I may not know with my human mind, I may not remember why I created it, but I know I'm owning it. I know I created it, and I created it for my highest good, and I'm going to come from a place of love, because nothing is outside of me. No person, place, or thing is outside of me, so I want to come with it from a place of love.
Yes, absolutely, brilliantly said. And if we do that, then we're not perpetuating the ego script, and then we're not fragmenting even more and more.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So we need to come together and remind each other of that. I just went to.
That's okay.
Shut out. Sorry about that. Okay.
That's okay. I'm thinking, have you ever heard of EVP? EVP. It's called electronic voice phenomena.
Okay.
And on my end, that's what I'm picking up. Meaning there's a soul entity on the other side. But I know that Kyle, my son, is in spirit. And he already told me he's my co-host. He's already told me that he's always with me, but I don't always hear him. So I don't know if that's him or maybe your grandmother. I don't know. But there is definitely EVP. I'm hearing the EVP on my end. It's okay. I can't make out what I can hear a voice.
Ah, that's great, Caroline.
Yeah.
I love it. This is wonderful news.
Well, I was going to say, I actually discovered EVP in my very first reading on my son's birthday. It was gifted to me by one of my guests. Gifted me a reading on his birthday via Zoom. And in that reading, you could clearly hear his voice. It came through clearly. And he was saying, what he said that you can make out was doing it. Meaning, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be. The reason I'm here, I'm doing it. So,
Caroline, I'll tell you the first time that you emailed me.
Yes.
And then I read into your story. That is immediately what I felt in my heart, in my soul. That this is the arrangement that the two of you came together to work together. And it's not always how in our human thought would be the perfect way, because you would think, oh, I want his physical self sitting next to me.
Yes.
But in the agreement, he is so much more helpful in this way that it is occurring.
Yes.
And so, yes, he is your co-host, and yes, he is there. I know it. I can feel it. It just was the most beautiful feeling once I read that and felt that. So thank you to both of you for giving me that joy, because I got it. I got it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I appreciate the fact that you did read my story, because not all the guests do know. I know a little bit about them before they come on, but not all the guests know my story. And I'm very thankful that you actually took the time to read that. Thank you.
It's a beautiful one, and it should be heard. There's a lot of pain and suffering in the moment that we experience. And once we can reach through that, it's not just thinking positively about it, but it is actually going to the root cause of it, right? That we're not separated, and we did take responsibility that we did manifest this. Okay, so let's be responsible for our action. Not that we, did a specific thing in the illusion, but we're talking about the whole separation, and that we truly are in the present moment.
Yes. 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 Knowing that there truly is no death, and anything that our soul experience, like I was talking about higher self, our soul self, anything we experience, we have agreed to on a soul level to experience. So when we own that, I use that word own it, in the sense that we're not separate from it. We are creating it. We understand that we can move through it in a more peaceful state of being, because it's all about our state of being.
Right. It is our state of being. And that's our choice. And in every moment, like we've said throughout this time that we've had together, that we, in the present moment, have the choice to choose that fear and anger and to react, or choose the peace and the love that is our inheritance, that is our truth, that is where we really come from.
Yeah, that is so true. And like you said, it's to me, I always have to say, it's a moment to moment decision. It's like in every now moment, we have to make that decision. So, because every now is actually new. We're creating every now moment we're brand new. There is truly no past. There is truly no future. There's truly only the now. And I know our human mind has a very hard time accepting or believing that. But in truth, everything that all of our past, quote unquote, past lives, I don't call them past lives anymore. I call them simultaneous lives.
Well, very good. I love that.
Yeah. Because we're living all of our lives, past, future, now, here in the now.
Yes, simultaneously.
Exactly. Simultaneous lives right here and now. And even in this life, it's simultaneous past and future in this life happening here and now. So, yes. So I want you to share more on that, because that's so, for me, that is so key to awakening, understanding that all there is
Understanding that we are multidimensional beings living simultaneously.
Yes.
You know?
Well, understanding that, but understanding that all there is the now. So not to be caught up in what you did in the past, even what you did this morning, what you did an hour ago. Don't be caught up in that, because all there is right here and now.
That's correct. That's correct. Because once we get into that wheel of letting the past dictate our now and our future, then we can't move forward and we can't see what is really our truth. Exactly. Then we're going to be stuck in that ego script. And if you think about it, just in the form of like, you can't really ever experience the past that's gone, because you could never ever feel the exact same way that you did in that moment, in that past moment. Right. Even 5 seconds ago when we were talking now, we can't grab that back. And right. That's okay. This is the beauty of it, though. You don't have to hang on to anything. You don't want to, because this is your freedom. Right. Living in the present moment is your true freedom, right? Yeah. And just forgiving and letting go. When you surrender, and you really just own your own moment now, you are empowering yourself beyond belief. And you can really tap in to the beautiful, beautiful potentials that you have. And that the keys to freedom is really living in the present moment. Yes. And really accepting that truth and trusting that this moment will bring you everything you need, and that you have everything that you need right now. You are never lacking. You are always whole. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. That's so key what you just said too. It's, because a lot of people have heard of The Secret, and a lot of people believe in the law of attraction. But some of it, what really had me to awaken to what that law of attraction is saying is that it is already here now. Anything you want, like you just said, in every now moment, you have exactly what you need. No more, no less. You're never, ever in a state of lack. You are a powerful person, and you have it. And it's just a matter of vibration. Whatever it is you want, it is here and now. It's not in the future. It's here and now. And it's for you to see it, because you're going to only see and experience what you're a vibrational match. Everything is vibration. And I just recently discovered that science, even Stephen Hawking refers to how it is scientifically proven that what you do in this now moment can actually change the past. I just heard that this weekend. I was listening to some science and non-duality videos on YouTube, and Stephen Hawking's work and a couple of other scientists that are alive today I don't know how they prove this stuff scientifically. That I don't know. But science is even saying that there is only the now. And the now does not just affect the future. The now also affects that past. So your power is all here and now. Because people will say, oh, I want to know my past life, because I want to know why I'm going through what I'm going through now. I know it stems from a past life, a karma and all that. Karma is just the balancing. And if you understand that, it doesn't matter. You don't need to know that past life, because the power is not in that past life. The power is now. And the now actually ripples to the past and the future. So like we said, simultaneous lives, your now moment affects all of your lives. So if you're being joyful and happy in this now moment, that is radiating to all of the lives that you're living. You might just in another timeline be like, oh, I feel good, and not know why.
your power is now. That's what one of my favorite books is The Power of Now. Mm-hmm. And that's where your power is. It's in the now. So I know a lot of people get caught up in, I want to know what happened in my past life. But it's okay to.
Sure. And it's fun and you want to learn the story.
Yeah.
But as long as you're aware.
Yes.
That, once, you go through that, your real power is your now. And
yes.
that your healing comes from your moment right now of choice. Of choosing that, script of love instead of fear. And like you said, Caroline, it's rippling out. And this again is how we heal the fragmentation and the separateness. And this is how we are truly helpful to everyone by monitoring our thoughts and having those thoughts in every moment that we can. That's where the true healing comes from. Because remember, it comes from the mind. Right? It's not the ego will have you believe that, you need to have this or that or make different stories to keep you confused. But it just comes down to a simple matter of it comes from the mind, and we have to choose the Holy Spirit in every moment, or your higher self, or love instead of fear and anger.
Unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness. Now I want to get into that because you said you have a story to share about forgiveness.
Yes. So my dad, his father was in hospital and he couldn't get to see him, and he had a tumultuous relationship with his dad growing up. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't a very, what you would call, loving relationship between his father and his mother, and they were estranged. And so it was at the end of his dad's life, but he somehow wanted to reach out for forgiveness and didn't know how to do that. So he was trying to reach through me. And so I tried to explain to him that, Daddy, it comes from your mind, just like we were talking about, Caroline. In the moment, at any moment, you can choose to heal it. You can choose to forgive, because that reaches your thought, like you said, reaches all aspects and all dimensions and all, everything of any time that you think that there is, because it's all happened at the same time. So I said to him, it's not a matter of us physically going there, because at that point, my grandfather wouldn't have remembered anyway of who we were or whatever. He was just at that state. And so once I gave that message and he passed, I was meditating one day, and I felt very levitated, and I looked and I saw on my couch my grandmother at one end and my grandfather, who I didn't really know in my life. I think I met him when I was a baby once, on the other side of her.
Okay.
And what her message was, all is forgiven, so please release it. We are okay. All is perfect. And there is no reason for you to have any guilt or judgment or bad feelings about it. Yes. It was the most beautiful experience to see these two beings just join in love. And from then on, it was just very clear to me that yes, this is truth, and this is really what it's all about. Right. And so, forgiveness in the moment of we can choose that, and it's not forgiving, you, Caroline, for doing something to me. You did nothing to me. That's the ego's thought about it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It's forgiving that we have a dream of separation, and that realizing that and being aware of that in our every moment, so that we can step back and choose, again, so that maybe then when we see that somebody else is coming from fear, we recognize that we ourselves are projecting fear from somewhere. Yeah. Because we've all done it, right?
Yes.
Same moment.
Yes.
How it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a really profound moment for me, and I'm thank you for sharing it, allowing me to share it with you. Yes. So anybody who's having a thought of any doubt, I hope that maybe this story will help you.
Yes.
know that there is really truth and love and forgiveness, and that's really where we truly exist. That's our true inheritance.
Right. It's so true. It's so hard for us to understand that from our human perspective, but all the people that we think harmed us, hurt us, or did anything wrong, we actually, from a spiritual level, asked them to do that. And I know people are like, what? We did. Okay. So there's a beautiful children's book. I have a 9-year-old, he just turned 9, a 9-year-old grandson. And I have this book for him. I bought, it's called The Little Soul in the Sun.
That's a beautiful title.
Yes, by Neil Donald Walsh, who wrote the Conversations with God book. So there's a couple of children's book, and the first one is The Little Soul in the Sun, and that just it talks about a little soul that hasn't come to earth. He's about to come to earth, and he's asking souls up in, we'll say heaven for now. He's asking other souls to help him to remember who he is. I need you to be kind of mean to me while I'm there. And other souls are like, no, I don't want to be mean to you. But he's like, please, please, please. So one really evolved soul says, okay, I'll do it. And so basically, the people that we think in our lives are the most, they are our greatest blessing. And we ask them to do we created this role for them. We are the director, the writer, and I know you do acting. We are the director, the writer, the actors. We are the producers. We're everything in the movie and of our life, or the dream of our life. And we asked them. They could not do that if we didn't ask them in spirit to do that. So, and I know people from a human perspective, they're like, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's very difficult. And I say, well, you know what? Imagine that soul that's playing, the antagonist. Imagine them thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to be the most help, and I'm going to do so much good if I do this role. Yeah, I really want to do it. Yeah. So they're not thinking of it in the form of how it's coming out in our human experience. Exactly. They're just thinking about it, how it's helping on the level of spirit.
Exactly. Yes. When we're in spirit and we do plan like the most difficult challenges for ourselves, like me and my son, we planned the difficult challenge of me, him transitioning him transitioning at a young age. That's a very hard thing to plan. But when you're in spirit, you realize that's a piece of cake. Because first of all, it's not real in the sense that there is no death. So It's not real. So it's very easy to plan when you're in spirit and you know who you are. It's just now to walk through that plan, that difficult plan, is the thing we have to remember. Okay, and to me, what helps a person walk through a difficult plan that they planned when they were in spirit is to remember, to slowly, gradually remember, I planned this. I'm doing this to me.
That's
Nobody's doing anything to me. I'm doing this to me.
That's the whole thing of saying, well, you can't change the movie screen. You can't jump into the movie screen and change it. You have to go to the projector.
Exactly.
The projector is you.
Yes.
You have to go back to you to be able to change your mind about it.
Exactly.
Then you're projecting a new film.
Exactly. And I love the analogy of the movies.
Yes.
Because what we see is what's on the screen.
Yes.
And we see, here's what we do. And I just thought of this just yesterday. What we do, you're in the movie theater, you see what's happening on the screen, and you don't like what's happening on the screen. And so you're trying to go into the screen and move things around. And it's impossible. You can't. You have to turn around. So we look for answers out on the screen. Outside of ourselves. But the answer is to turn around and go to the projector room and change the film. That's the answer.
That's the root of the problem. That's where it's coming from.
Exactly, to go within. So that analogy of the movie theater is we look for answers on the outside of us when all of the answers are within us. And that light of the projector is who we are.
That is exactly true.
Yes.
That is exactly true. And that is in every moment.
Yes.
Every moment.
Very true.
We have that choice. We can direct it however we want to, and we can see what script we want to choose.
Yes.
The ego or the script of truth and love.
Yes.
Right. So let's start putting that power and using that in every moment and trying to practice that. And I just will tell you, in my own life, it has made a remarkable transformation. And it is possible. It's not easy, and there's a lot of situations that it doesn't happen as fast. But once you practice and you keep your awareness, it will happen. And that onion, that slow peeling, it does. And you think, oh, it's not happening, but it really doesn't. One day you're going to see it, and one day you're going to feel it. One day it's going to get easier and easier to switch your script.
Yes.
To love and to project that. And the other way, now you're seeing that it's upside down, to be in that ego world and to be in fear, and judgment.
You're right.
Yes, it really does. Now I say to everybody, now go to the spiritual gym.
Which I say is within.
Yes, it's within. Not without.
Yeah, we're all unique. So I say to people, whatever way, I know, like for me, I love being out in nature. I love meditating at the lake, but whatever floats your boat, whatever brings you, quiets that mind. I call it the monkey mind. Quiet that monkey mind. Go within and listen for the answers. They will come.
They're always there. They're right there. You have the power.
Yes. Always.
It's within you.
Yes.
It cannot be anywhere else.
And we give away our power when we are in a state of fear and feeling that we don't have the power. That's how we give away the power.
That's correct.
But in truth, it's just an illusion of giving away our power. We are divine aspects of God, and we always will be. So when we don't think we are, that's when it appears as if we're not. As
if we're not. That's right. And that's as we go back to what you and I have been chatting about today, is then, as everything has happened in the ego script all at once, and in the belief of separation, so has the healing.
Yes.
And so it's just switching our mind to seeing the healing script and not the script of separation.
Very good.
Yes.
So, okay. So you discovered Gary's book. You listened to your inner voice tell you to go to the bookstore. You found the book. So now share us from that point, and share with us from that point in your life.
Sure. I read the book out loud to my dear loving partner, and every word, and we both resonated. And then it was time to go on a little vacation, and I was blessed enough to be able to take a vacation. And I said, I know where we're going to go, and it was Hawaii.
Oh,
hard. So I took a journey to Hawaii to meet Gary Renard, and had lunch with Gary after his workshop, and been friends with him ever since.
Okay, I didn't know Gary lived in Hawaii. Whoa, that's cool.
No, he was doing a workshop there. He was.
Okay. I see what you're saying. All right.
Gary was actually not living in Los Angeles at the time.
Okay.
But he met when he said, well, I'm moving to Los Angeles soon. I said, well, he says, I know we're going to be friends.
Awesome.
So that's what happened. And then it was just a few short months later, he moved to Los Angeles, and I met his now beautiful wife, Cindy, and we just all connected. All four of us were just magnificent friends, and
amazing
extension of them, which, the extended family of them. So, it's just been a blessing to be able to attract such gorgeous energy in your life. So just like I feel blessed that I've attracted you somehow, some way. It's just, everybody do these exercises. Look at the gorgeous beings that come around in the light and the love that you can experience because you deserve it. I want everybody to know that they deserve it, you know,
Yes.
because you come from the same aspect, from the same whole, from the same love. And you are always enough. I just want everybody to hear that and really recognize it. And in every moment, you are enough.
That's true. Very true. Yes, very, very true. Now, also share with the listeners now I know that you've done some acting and producing, but share. I found you because of the video you did with Anthony, which Anthony is an upcoming guest. But the title of the video on YouTube is "Living in the Present Moment."
Yes. He was so sweet. I got to meet him. He came through Los Angeles from France through a good friend of mine named Sylvain Duboulet.
Okay.
And Sylvain is a great teacher and a dear friend who is also part of our family, Caroline. So so it's just been a wonderful journey, and Sylvain suggested that Anthony and I visit with each other. And so that's how Anthony and I got connected.
Yes.
And that was just a real treat.
Yes.
To sit with him. Yes.
Now share the work that you're doing in this field.
So the work that I'm doing currently, is that what?
Yes.
So currently, I am looking to do a film, which we are working on. I have a very wonderful colleague who I discovered being in the moment and trusting because I was listening.
Yes.
Long story short, I had an option to a book, and it was about a woman's lifelong interaction with beings from another galaxy.
Okay. Awesome.
And she fought through the fear of those abductions to find the meaning and purpose of those abductions, which, you know, being abducted, taking from your home, okay, and it's kind of a symbol of, you know, our story here as a whole, right? We think that we left home, we think we separated from our creator, right?
Exactly.
So, but there were spiritual messages that came through once she had fought through that fear.
Okay.
So these are the types of films that I'm, you know,
working on,
my intentions and my, you know, work towards to somehow bring through these, you know, messages to be heard. So it's not, and sharing that, you know, even though there's levels of the illusion and so on and so forth, we all use these as tools to get to that root cause, or that root that we know that, you know, truly that this was a dream and that it's already healed. Yes. So there's a lot of, you know, we got to meet everybody at where they're at.
Right.
And so we use all of these tools, and so sometimes movies help, you know, remember and you know, help, you know, regain that sense of self. Right. So instead of putting our galactic family in terms of fear, we want to bring intelligent conversation together to say, okay, you know, nobody's going to take you and put you in isolation. It's not all fear game. There are other beings that want to assist in our awakening.
Yes.
So that's what these messages are being, you know, in this film are going to put forward. Yes. And that we are all one. Yes. And all do have a common goal.
Yes. Well, I find that I totally believe that in the abduction stories, but I also believe, like, I go back to we are divine sovereign beings.
Yes.
Nothing can happen to us without our soul.
Yes.
So her human self does not remember making that agreement to be abducted by one of our galactic relatives, but there was a soul agreement for that to happen, because that cannot happen without our soul agreement.
And I'm going to prove to you how right you are, because actually, through going through all of this, she finally was able to remember she did make that agreement. So there it is. And that's the whole.
But that's the truth of it. I mean, I know so many, so many, like, I work with helping parents heal, and so many parents don't remember that they made this agreement with their child, that their child is going to go, their child is, no soul comes or leaves before it's time. It's never too soon. Everything happens in perfect divine timing. And it happens, there's an agreement, a soul agreement for it to happen that way. But of course, the parent didn't remember, don't remember. Like that lady that was abducted, she didn't remember. She agreed to be abducted. So yes.
Yes, absolutely. And then to be able to come to that awareness, to say, oh yes, I did agree to this. This was my higher self agreeing to this for another purpose.
Yeah.
That's the message that we're trying to put out. Yes. Perfect, Caroline.
Very true. Very true. And there's so much we can learn from our ET friends. We'll just say ET friends and family, because they are friends and family. And there's so much we can learn, but they also have a non-interference kind of, they do help as much as they can, but they have a non-interference, because most of them, they are higher beings, meaning they know. To them, their society, they know we're all one. They know it's not a question in their minds. They know it. And we haven't awakened to that yet. So they're waiting for us to wake up so we can actually join the family again.
Yes, Caroline. Bravo. Yes. Well, we're getting in tune to that new frequency.
Yeah.
It's like tuning the radio, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Put it on that station of oneness, that we hear the same melody of love and freedom. Yes.
Right. Yes. Unconditional love, and unconditional forgiveness starts. Unconditional love, unconditional forgiveness. All of that starts with self. So if a person is feeling a lot of guilt or not, feeling that they're not good enough, I mean, there's no way for you to be able to share that. If you don't feel it for yourself, you can't give it to another. So it all starts from within. Healing from within. Once you're healed from within, that's when you can shine your light to the rest of the world. So,
and that's what you do so brilliantly, and thank you.
Oh, so do you.
Thank you.
Yes. We all are unique, divine lights, and we all have something unique to share. No two snowflakes are alike. No two human beings are alike. We all have something unique to share to the whole, to the oneness.
Yes, it's your beautiful frequency, and all of it needs to be felt and heard. And we need to respect those frequencies. When we come in contact with other people in every moment, to know that that they're valuable. Everybody's valuable. So.
Exactly. Everybody's valuable. Everybody's valuable, equally valuable, and everybody has something to teach us. Even you think you pass I'm not in the city, I'm in the country, but go to New York. I'm not that far from New York City. And if I go in New York City and you pass a homeless person on the street, you think that person, most people think down of that person or think that person has nothing to offer society. And that's so far from the truth. Every soul is a divine, unique aspect of God and has something equally to share with the world.
Exactly right. And we need every aspect, because if we are all one, how can we take a glass ball and break it and not think that every shard you would miss a shard of glass? It wouldn't make it whole if you miss that shard of glass.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter if the piece is big or if it's the smallest fragment. It's still a whole, and it's equally important.
Very true. Very true. And we talked about a little bit about the multidimensionality that we are all we're living all of our lives. No matter how many lives there is, we're living them all now, meaning we're multidimensional. But not only are we multidimensional, we're holographic. And when I love Rumi's quote, meaning you're not a drop in the ocean, you're the ocean in a drop, meaning we're all of God in a drop. We're a drop of God, but we're not a piece of God. We're all of God. in that drop.
Yes.
So that's another aspect that people tend to not understand. And it took, when I awakened, it was a quantum physics. It was what the bleed that inspired my awakening to oneness. And once I understood that, the holographic aspect of oneness, meaning every cell in your body has all of you in it. So just like we are, if you think of us as cells of God, and in my term for God is all that is. There's nothing outside of God. Not this computer, this desk, nothing. It's all God. Everything is God. And we are cells of all that is, meaning all that is in us.
That's right, Caroline. It's so true. It really is. And we can just, each one of us, like that snowflake that you were talking about,
Yes.
Just like you have that voice that you're projecting right now, the beauty of your sight and your perception of it is speaking to so many people and they can hear it. And then somebody else can offer just something gently. You have no idea how even just a smile can be interpreted to be such love, and somebody can take that and that will be a ripple effect.
Exactly.
And my point is that I'm agreeing with you that we all do have something to teach, and just like, Yeshua would say, teach them in love, for love is what you are.
Yes. Yeah. So even like, say you're passing this, just as an example, you're in New York City, you're passing a homeless person. Now, most people have credit cards and don't even carry cash on them anymore. So say you don't have cash, but if you can just give that person a smile and just even bless them, you don't even have to do it audibly. You can just
in your mind
and say namaste, meaning the divine in me honors and bows to the divine in you, because I know that you're a divine person, and giving them a smile and, maybe buying them a cup of coffee, just anything that your heart, it has to come
in that moment, Caroline, right? Let's take it back to that moment, right? That we can say, right, exactly how you're feeling that, that place of that, that love spot. So if it is, just saying, I love you. Just even if you don't say it out loud in your mind, I love you. I know that you're a part of me and I am a part of you.
Yes.
I recognize you. I see you.
I see you.
I see the truth of you.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so true. So true. And a lot of times that's all people want, is to feel like they're being seen.
Yes.
That they're not invisible.
Right.
That is very so, and it's just, just little simple acts of kindness.
Simple acts of kindness. That's right. So in your moment in each day, you can take that out with you. And even if it's looking at the tree and saying, thank you. For doing what you do.
Yes.
Right?
Because it has life. Everything has life. The tree, everything. I speak to trees. One time, where was I? I was in Costa Rica, and I was in a beach, laying down in a beach chair, and there was a palm tree. And I'm from the East Coast and in the Northeast, and I'm not used to seeing palm trees. But there was this palm tree right in front of me, about maybe 50 feet, 60 feet in front of me. And it was like this, it looked like it was standing in front of me with its arms open, asking for a hug. So I got up, walked over, and gave it a big hug.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yes. So, that's
being in the moment, and that's being in that script of truth of love, and then you hear those joyful things and you feel those joyful things, and then you're gonna you act on it. It's so good, Caroline. Yes. Promote that.
So yes, just remembering everything, and we know that everything scientific. Everything I talk about, I always go back to the science of it. I'm not a scientist, but I know in 7th grade, my science teacher, when we were studying molecules, said nothing is truly solid. So that's telling us we don't live in a solid world. We don't live in a solid universe. And they found out that what they call in an atom is 99.99999% empty space.
see.
Yes, this is all three. So, in essence, we are all spirit. We are still, even here, what we call physical is still spirit. But it's very dense. It's denser, and
Very heavy, I would say.
and lower. We're at a lower vibration and denser.
Yes.
But it's just the difference in density, dimension, and vibration.
That's
But
right.
it's still all spirit.
That is well put, Caroline. That is very, very true. Yes, because I have experienced that, and it's very, very, very true.
Yes.
And when our vibration changes, and it will, because it already has, it will get lighter and lighter, and you will feel less attached to things and less needing of things, because those things are only temporary.
Exactly.
You know? That is not your truth. You are forever and for always, and you are perfect and whole and true.
Very true. Very true. Now please share with our listeners, share how they can stay in contact with you, follow you, see what you're up to. So share with our listeners.
Sure. So I'm kind of a quiet, shy girl, believe it or not.
Well, I'm glad I just happened to find you on YouTube. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. I would have never expected that. So yes, I do have a Facebook page.
Okay.
And I do have a website, though it, needs some, it's getting some updates, but I do have a website, RochelleValese.com.
Okay.
And I do have my Facebook page. So that would probably be the best way to go ahead and reach out to me, or see what I'm up to.
Okay.
In future, I will expand upon, all of those things.
Right.
I'll get more current.
That's okay. No, with social media and the internet, it connects us all over the world.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But I know that those who will need to find me will find me, just like I found my sister Caroline again.
Yes.
Somehow,
Exactly. Those that need to reach you will definitely reach you. Definitely.
Trust in that moment.
Yes. In the now moment.
Yes.
Yes. So is there any tips you can share with our listeners that, like I said, I know we all can go within in a different, like you did your walking meditation and that brought you to the bookstore. I will meditate at a lake at sunset. That's my thing. And I live not far from this lake that's about 4 miles away. On a nice day, which we have few nice days here in the Poconos, but on a nice day, that's where I go at sunset to meditate. So can you just share with some listeners your tips for maybe going within and raising their vibration?
Yeah, I mean, you can even create a room for yourself, even take 5 minutes and do a safe room. And, and then you can create something in that room, like a precious stone or whatever, and give all of your, negative energy to that stone, and then thank that stone, that crystal that you gave it to, for absorbing all of your fears and, and your, all of your negative energy that, might have come at you that day. We're batteries, Caroline, and we need to recharge, and we get hit with, as we talked about, we're energy. Yeah. So we need to know that other people's energy interfere with our energy, or come in contact, even sometimes when it's good. Yes. That we need to go in and do a little cleaning of house. Yes. And go within, and we need to say, okay, hello, who's in my head? Thank you for what you've given me, but now I need to, have my space back. Yes. And, we need to do that little cleansing exercise, because sometimes when we're feeling upset, sometimes it's not even just all of us. It's part of an energy that we've taken on. So we need to be respectful and have of energetic value of ourselves. Yes. And even, you say, I don't have time, but, when you're at the grocery store and you're standing in line, you can even say one little line of a mantra that you might need that inspires yourself in that day.
Exactly.
I am spirit. I am love. I am from the Creator. I'm one with God. And I'm one with God. Or whatever makes you, empowers you in that day, or that moment. And take that mantra in every moment that you have a second,
Yes.
just say it to yourself and just go within and say it to yourself. And that's the best gift you can give yourself.
Yes.
Just take time for yourself.
Very true. And a lot of times people will say, I don't have time, but that's very true. It's more about, for me, it's more about the being at peace within yourself than the doing. We all have busy lives, and
Correct.
the doing can sometimes get in the way of being peaceful within. And when we understand, and I know it's an understanding that people come to gradually, but when we understand that it is more important to have that peace within than to the busy doing on the outside. That, yes.
Well put. Absolutely.
Yes.
Because remember, as we talked about earlier, it's the ripple effect. And
Exactly.
the mind, and it's coming from the one mind. So we need to project our thoughts out of that love and of that peace and of that harmony to all and for ourselves. And that's how we heal the outside.
Very true. And I have, you spoke about a rock or a stone. I actually have back to Costa Rica. I was in Costa Rica for a global council meeting when I was with Humanities Team, which is a nonprofit organization that was started by Neil Donald Walsh. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Neil. Yes. Well, he started a nonprofit organization. I was with them for a while. So I was in Costa Rica at that global council meeting a couple of years ago, and I was given a heart-shaped rock. And, and it's perfectly heart-shaped. And this heart-shaped rock has now become my gratitude rock. And I keep it close by. And when I look at that rock or hold that rock in my hand, I just think of something that I'm grateful for in that moment.
There you go. There you go, Caroline, in that moment.
Yes.
That's all there is, remember, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's so beautiful and so well put. Yes. So whatever works for somebody, but that's what works for us, huh?
Yes, exactly.
It's a beautiful thing, Caroline. I really appreciate that, sharing that.
Thank you. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being my guest today on Awake to Oneness Radio. And we are definitely now family. I'm not on the West Coast much. I've only been to LA. You're in the LA area, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
So you now have a place to stay. You could come stay with me.
Well, I've only been to LA once. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Michael Beckwith. Reverend Michael Beckwith.
Absolutely. I just was at a service for Hans Christian King.
Okay.
And Beckwith did this service for Hans because they were good friends. So.
Awesome. Yes. Yeah. Well, again, this is my first, when I had my show the first year, 4 years ago.
Yes.
Michael was one of my first guests.
Oh, that's
and he invited me to LA. And so that was the only time I was in LA, but I plan to get back there. And when I get there, I will definitely, I know someplace I can go to stay, lay my head.
Yes, Caroline, seriously, make a plan. Come out.
Oh, I definitely.
Great fun.
Okay.
Yes.
There's so much going on.
Just book your plane.
Yes. Okay. And there's so much going on the West Coast. I think the vibration might be a little higher there. So much.
We have a vortex here, so we'll see.
Yes.
Well, it certainly will be higher if you come.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you. This has been so wonderful. I can't believe the hour went by so fast, but it always does, because it's just like having a great conversation with a sister.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
I really appreciate you.
I
and
appreciate
all you put out there. Thank you for helping, and thank you for all your love and projecting your beauty.
And thank you. Thank you so much. We will definitely keep in touch.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
I'm preparing your room.
Okay, great. Make sure it's a room with a view.
It is. I gotcha.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So much love to you, Caroline. Thank you.
You too. Namaste.